Welcome back to BTL Productions, guys. Today I'm going to do something a little different. You've asked. I'm going to tell you who I am. Tell you a little bit about my background, why I started the channel, and yeah, let's roll the intro and we'll get into it. So, welcome back, guys. So, why did I start this YouTube channel? Well, let's start with one thing. For many years, I have been told I should be on radio, I should be on television. I remember back in school, I had a professor who was determined I was going to go work for the CBC, which is one of the news outlets here in Canada. And he kept telling me, just quit school, go up to Toronto, knock on the door of CBC, and you tell them you want a job. And when they hear your voice, you're going to get one. Well, never did. I stayed in school. I finished and went into business after that. I'm a photographer by trade. I've had my own photography business for just over 10 years now. I've gone through many different types of photography. I mean, I've done automotive. I've done I currently do real estate photography. I've also done families and children and newborns and you name it. I've probably done it at some point. I yearly put out a calendar of all basically my pictures I take for fun. So I've been quite involved in the photography, but never did the radio or the television thing. So come COVID, 2020, I, like everybody else, didn't have a lot of things to do. I was still working, fortunately, just not in the photography business. So I had a different job during this period, and I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I had quite a few different creators I was following, and I watched one channel in particular grow from maybe, let's say, 15, 20,000 people, subscribers, to over 1.5 million a few years later. I'm thinking, I could do this. I could go on YouTube. Everybody's always told me I had a voice for radio. Maybe I should utilize it. So I did. I finally got up the nerve and started a channel. Not something I'd ever done before. Being a photographer, I had always hidden behind the camera. And I was quite happy to hide behind the camera. And never in a million years did I ever think that I would be putting myself out there on YouTube to millions of potential viewers. But I did. Glad I did. Once I decided to go into YouTube, I was like, well, I didn't know what kind of channel I wanted to have. And I tried a bunch of different ones. But the automotive one is the one that somehow got most of the views. So I decided to just roll with that. Maybe it was because that is truly one of my huge interests. I've been a car guy my entire life. Since I was a kid, I love cars long before I could even drive one. I can remember being out there in the driveway helping my dad wash his car when I was probably 4 years old. I was always very fascinated with them, how they worked, how they operated. I, generally speaking, have always been interested in anything with an engine. I started riding snowmobiles when I was about 9 years old. Later would go into jet skiing as well. But with the snowmobile thing, that enabled me to learn a lot about engines. My dad worked for General Motors for over 30 years. So he had a wealth of knowledge in there. I remember going into the factory with him as a kid. You know, sometimes he might have to go in there when, you know, they were working overtime on a Saturday or something like that. And I was with him and he would just take me in there. In those days, it was a little easier just to kind of walk in there like that. Nowadays, all the safety regulations, you probably wouldn't. And things were very different back then as far as safety goes. But anyhow, I was fascinated by these lines with all these moving parts and engines and whatnot. And I was always asking lots of questions. Okay, what's this part do? Where does this part go? And that. And he would take me on a tour of the plant and show me the process. The plant where I'm from produces engines. They don't actually assemble the entire vehicle. The engine is shipped out to another plant to go into whatever vehicle it is going into. So Corvette engines are actually one of the engines that are produced here where I'm from. So I was very fascinated with this sort of thing. And like I say, with the snowmobiles, I learned a lot about it. My dad taught me how to tear down a snowmobile from top to bottom, including engine, and put it back together. I used to take these snowmobiles, buy a couple beaters in the spring, and I would rebuild them over the course of the summer and oftentimes sell them in the fall, make some money off of it. So, and I enjoy doing it. And I learned a lot about vehicles as well. So, yeah, I was that kid at 16 years old who was in the driver's registration office on the day of my 16th birthday getting my driver's license. And I went out to drive and learn that day. So, yeah, that's what led me to this channel, basically. I've been involved in car culture for a long time as well. I was a long-term member and event organizer for the Ontario Quebec Club Grand Prix, OQCGP as it was known, here in Ontario and Quebec. I met many great guys throughout this club. I mean, and a lot of which are still friends today. You've met one of them on the channel, my friend Gary, who has the Holden conversion. He had a Grand Prix back in that time as well. And yeah, there was a lot of great guys. Unfortunately, when the Pontiac nameplate and the Grand Prix was dropped, within a few years, the company kind of more or less dissolved because there were no new cars coming in. So all good things come to an end, as they say, but it was still a great experience. I truly enjoyed it. I then still have my Grand Prix today. The Grand Prix I have was actually my dad's car originally. I actually convinced him to buy it. He was not really a Grand Prix fan. He liked the car, but left to his own devices, I don't think it would have been the car he would have chosen himself. He liked the Bonnevilles a lot more. He had 3 of those. Let's say go back to the 90s here, he had about 3 Bonnevilles. He had the Aurora Oldsmobile. Well, beautiful car as well, but lacked headroom. But the car itself was really nice. And the Pontiac Grand Prix. And after my dad passed away, I kept the car because the car, it meant a lot to me. It had a lot of memories in it. And it was, like I say, it was something he kind of bought because I convinced him to buy it because I really liked those cars. And after he passed away, that was when I found the Pontiac Grand Prix Club. So it was almost like that was meant to be in some sort of twisted way. I'm not sure. But it was a great time. I still have the car today. I moved on to my daily driver. I own a Chevy Silverado. I also became part of a GM truck forum. A little different than this one here because this was kind of a local club, whereas this one is all over Canada and the US and some other countries even too. But I'm actually a moderator over there. You can check it out at gm-trucks.com if you wish. It's a great community of like-minded truck guys in there, always willing to help people out that have questions and whatnot. So if that is of interest to you, I would highly recommend the club. So, yeah, I mean, it's something that I've been very interested in my whole life, like I said. So it kind of made sense to start a channel for that. I would like to thank everybody, especially some of my earlier subscribers. You know who you are. There's a few of you that are quite active as well. New subscribers, and even the ninja watchers who like to watch and don't subscribe. My question to you is, why don't you subscribe? Just subscribe, you know. Doesn't cost you anything. I appreciate it greatly as well. So, yeah. Anyhow, I just thought I'd give you guys a quick little story, background story here of why I'm here. I mean, I actually came from quite a car family because even my grandfather worked for one of the smaller parts suppliers for the big three as well. So it goes from my grandfather to my father and then to me. So quite a history there. So I know some of you have asked, you know, before why I started this channel. So there you have it. Anyhow, as always, I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna